What the happened in Super Bowl XLII. Going into the game, it looked like a lopsided matchup between a Patriots powerhouse looking to complete their perfect season for the first time since the Dolphins did it back in 1972, and a Giants team that scraped their way into the wild card spot with a 10-6 record, but managed to make it to the big game for the first time since Super Bowl XXV. The Giants got it first and started with a handoff to Brandon Jacobs to the outside, where he had to cut back in for a gain of 3 before they gave it to him again on a drop the gut and he fell forward for 1. On 3rd and 6, Manning caught it in the gun and fired to Plexico Burress on an inside post that beat New England's zone coverage and got them to the 42. From the eye, Manning dropped back before checking it down to his fullback Hedgecock, who was tackled quickly after gaining 3 before they handed it to Jacobs again, but there wasn't much for him to work with, and on 3rd and 6 again, Steve Smith ran a deep stick from the slot and Manning hit him just past the marker for another first. Jacobs found some room to work with on the next play, hitting the hole and delivering some punishment to the safety before getting gang tackled. On 2nd and short, Ahmad Bradshaw came in and took the carry before slipping up inches shy of the marker, and on 3rd, they went right back to him as he went around the tackle and kept fighting for more yardage after contact inside New England's 30. Manning tried Kevin Boss in the flat on the next play, but the throw was low and Boss wasn't able to haul it in before Jacobs came back in and tried an outside carry, but only fell forward for 3, leaving them on 3rd and 7, where Manning avoided a blitzer and delivered a strike in the hole of New England's zone defense to Steve Smith, and they'd get another conversion. Manning threw a risky one next, taking a shot to the end zone for Burress, but he was doubled, and it luckily fell incomplete. An outside handoff to Jacobs went nowhere on 2nd, and on 3rd and 10, Manning completed it to Smith underneath on a crosser, but New England was all over it, leveling him before he could turn upfield, and the promising drive would end with a kick from Lawrence Tynes to put New York up by 3 to start the game. Lawrence Maroney took the kickoff from the 1 and just bounced it to the left sideline where he got moving, and Tynes was able to force him out at the 44. Patriots started with a fake reverse to set up a screen, but Brady was pressured and couldn't get the throw to Maroney before they handed it to him on 2nd, and he slashed forward for a good gain of 8 before handing it to him again, this time for a first down and more. Brady dropped back and just threw it away between 3 defenders on the next play before tossing it to Dante Stallworth on an in, where he got pulled down after a gain of 7, and on 3rd and 3, Brady lofted it out in front of Wes Welker, and he turned upfield and got them another conversion. Fullback Heath Evans took a dive up the middle next for a short gain of 2, before Brady threw a swing pass to Marshall Faulk out of the backfield next, and he turned upfield getting right to the marker. With great protection, Brady surveyed on 1st, but missed Benjamin Watson high on the corner route before throwing a heater to Faulk, who couldn't hold on to it, leaving them on 3rd and 10, where Brady lofted it up the seam for Watson in the end zone, but future coach Antonio Pierce basically tackled him before the ball got there, and New England got moved to the goal line by the penalty, where they handed it to Maroney, who fell short by inches on 1st, before they went right back to him again to the right this time, and he bounced off his tight end and into the gap for the score, putting up New England 7-3 early in the 2nd quarter. Gostkowski's kick went out of bounds, giving the Giants great field position for their next drive, where they'd start with an inside handoff to Jacobs for a quick 3, and Manning avoided another blitz and delivered a strike over the middle to Burress on a dig to get them into Patriots territory. Great blocking gave Eli all day next play, where he patted the ball and threw a back shoulder ball for Amani Toomer, who beat the DB locating the ball and made a nice sideline catch, keeping both feet down in bounds, and the Giants were now in the red zone, where Jacobs delivered a bruising 4-yard run. On 2nd, a delay of game backed them up to the 21, where Manning fired quickly to David Tyree on a hitch route for a short gain, and on 3rd and 5, they threw for Smith coming back inside on an option route, but the rookie tipped the ball into the hands of Ellis Hobbs, who spun around with it and took it down the sideline, stiff-arming Bradshaw on his way out past the 30. The Patriots set up a screen for Maroney next, and he got caught from behind, but got a good gain of 8 first, before they handed it to him to the outside. The play got strung out on the edge, and he got almost nothing. On 3rd and 1, they tried him for a 3rd time, but this time the Giants dialed up a blitz that smothered the rush attempt, and Maroney was gang tackled behind the line, and the Pats would just have to punt it away for the first time, and the returner McQuarters managed to get north and south for a good return. Manning tried stepping up on 1st down, but Jarvis Green got free of his blocker and brought him down. On 2nd and 13, the handoff between Manning and Bradshaw was fumbled, and Pierre Woods of the Pats initially fell on it, but Ahmad Bradshaw also dove into the pile, wresting it away and saving the possession for the Giants. On 3rd and 16, Manning rolled right, but didn't like what he saw downfield and just threw it in the dirt, and they'd be punting back to Brady and the Pats halfway through the 2nd. He started with a handoff to Maroney up the gut, but he only got a yard before Brady dropped back, but a blitz got Kawika Mitchell free, and he tripped Brady up in the backfield for a loss of 8, and on 3rd and 17, Brady tried climbing the pocket, but Justin Tuck was there to jump on him for another sack, and the Patriots would be punting from damn near their own end zone, and the Giants got it back in good field position. Jacobs fell forward for 2 on the 1st down, before Bradshaw came into the game, and got loose on a jump cut to the outside, and slashed through the defense to get them just outside New England's 40. Jacobs took another power run 4 yards to set up 2nd and 6, where he got it again, bulldozing through the 2nd level and getting a first down at the 31. Eli faked to Bradshaw on the next play before checking it to him for a short gain of 3, before handing it to him on the next play where he ran with patience and picked up another 3, setting up 3rd and 4, where Eli rolled right, feeling the pressure on his backside, but was strip-sacked by Adalius Thomas, and Bradshaw managed to get to it first, batting the ball towards the marker, and Steve Smith fell on it. Bradshaw was called for the illegal batted ball, but the Giants retained possession, and it was 3rd and 18, where Manning took a deep drop and hucked it right to Randall Gay, who probably narrowly survived middle school with that name, and also he dropped the potential interception. New England started the next possession pinned deep, and Brady, with a blitzer in his face, launched a duck to the double-covered Randy Moss, and the ball landed 5 yards behind him incomplete. They tried an outside handoff to Maroney next, but the back had nowhere to go, getting swallowed up, and on 3rd and 13, New England set up a clever screen for Dante Stallworth, who headed north and picked up the clutch first down with the clock still running. Brady stepped up and launched one in Moss's direction next, but it was overthrown, and the open Moss couldn't run under it, and on 2nd down, they handed it to Falk up the gut, but it was thanks to a hold, backing up New England where they'd set up a screen on the perimeter for Welker, who cut back inside for a good gain of 8, and with 36 seconds left, Brady checked it down to Falk, who got tackled in the middle, and with 28 seconds left, Brady stepped up and delivered to Moss on a deep out where he secured his first catch and went out at New York's 44. Brady stepped up wanting to go deep again on 1st down, but before the arm could come forward, Justin Tuck grabbed it and the ball came free, and Osi Umenyiora grabbed it for the Giants, giving it back to Eli with 10 seconds left. Manning threw behind Steve Smith on the first play, incomplete, and on 2nd with 5 seconds left, Manning rolled right on the Hail Mary attempt and just launched it to the end zone, but it fell incomplete, and the first half would end 3-7. Pats on top. The Patriots got it to start the 3rd, and Brady threw short for Welker over the middle, and the scrappy Jim Rat got rolling up the middle for the first down. Maroney took the next carry, following his lead blocking tight end through the hole, being brought down after 7. Brady tried a swing pass for Falk, but it was batted down incomplete. On 3rd and 3, with pressure bearing down on him, Brady barely got the throw to Falk, who turned up and got what they needed for the first. Maroney got wrapped up in the backfield next for a loss of 2, before Brady dropped back and tossed it over the middle to Welker on a spot route where he was crushed after a 7-yard catch that set up 3rd and 5, where Brady threw short of the sticks to his back Falk, who was brought down almost immediately, and they'd have to punt away their first possession of the half. On the punt, Chase Blackburn of the Giants was slow getting off the field before the snap, and Belichick noticed this, throwing the challenge flag, and it paid off, as they were called for illegal substitution, and New England's offense stayed out there on the field. A good screen for Maroney got them a quick 5 yards on 1st, but a false start backed them up to 2nd and 11, where the screen for Welker got blown up, and New England would lose another 2, and on 3rd, Brady checked it to Falk, who looked dead in the water, but the first defender over-pursued, and Falk got a good head of steam, plowing over Pierce and Wilson for a miraculous first down. Maroney got popped quickly for no gain on 1st, Brady checked it to Brady for only 3 on 2nd, and on 3rd down, Michael Strahan came screaming off the edge, wrapping up Brady for another sack. Instead of trying the long field goal kick, the Patriots puzzlingly went for it on 4th and 13, and Brady just threw it away outside the end zone, targeting Gaffney, and they turned it over on downs to Eli and the Giants on their own 30. Jacobs fell forward on the carry for 4 yards on 1st down, and on 2nd, Toomer caught it between 2 defenders on a quick hitch for a first down. Bradshaw came in for a short gain next, picking up 2, before Manning gunned it to a double-covered Toomer again, who trapped it against his helmet for the catch. Surely that won't happen again later, and picked up another first. Manning stood like a statue and launched a missile to the end zone for the triple-covered Plexico Burress, and it was broken up on 1st. On 2nd, Bradshaw was pulled down for a 4-yard gain, and on 3rd and 6, Manning tried a tight window throw for Burress on the dig, but it was broken up, and New York would have to punt it away again, pinning New England deep at their own 10. A false start moved them back to their own 5, where the blitz almost got home, and Brady let go of a duck that luckily fell incomplete. Brady threw behind Welker up the seam next, and he hauled it in for a clutch first down, giving them a little room to breathe, before they handed it to Maroney next, who found a good gap for 9, before they'd hand it to him again, and he'd fight through contact to get the first. Welker caught a quick slant next, and got moving all the way to midfield before Brady threw it over his head on the next play, and on 2nd down, they were backed up by another false start where Brady stood in and underthrew Moss again, who was outrunning the Giants' double coverage, and Brady knew he missed a big opportunity there. On 3rd and forever, they set up another screen for Stallworth, but this time the Giants got to him well before he could reach the marker, and they'd have to punt it back to Eli again. On 1st down, Eli launched one up the seam for his tight end, Kevin Boss, who caught it in stride, shaking off the safety, and rolling down to New England's 35 before getting tripped up from behind. Bradshaw dove over the line for a short gain of 3 on the first down run, before he took it again on a dive for another 3 yards, and on 3rd and 4, Manning slung a rocket to Smith on a deep dig to get them inside New England's 15. Bradshaw pushed up the middle on 1st down to get them down at the 5, where Manning faked it to him before loosing it to Tyree in the end zone on a slant, and the Giants would get their first touchdown 4 minutes into the 4th quarter of the defensive slugfest, and with Tynes' kick, they'd wrest a 3-point lead. Brady started the drive with a high throw from Moss over the middle, who went up and got it, going down after a big gain, and on the next play, they set up a screen for Welker again, who surged forward for 3 before going down. On 2nd and 7, Brady overthrew Moss again, wide open up the left sideline, and on 3rd down, Brady narrowly avoided a sack before gunning it to a double-covered Moss, and they'd have to punt it back to the Giants with 9.5 minutes left in the game. Brandon Jacobs was stuffed on the 1st down run, only picking up 1, before Eli spun out of a sack, rolling left, and overthrowing Burris on the run, and on 3rd and 9, Manning hit Toomer on a slant, but he was stamped a yard shy of the sticks, and they'd have to punt it back to Brady with 8 minutes left. Brady threw low for Welker on 1st down, picking up 5, before hitting Moss on a quick in, where he turned upfield for the first and a few more. Maroney bounced the run to the outside next, stiff-arming a tackler and going out just shy of the sticks, setting up 2nd and 1, where Welker caught it on the spot route and turned upfield against the soft zone coverage, getting the Pats into Giant territory, where Brady threw short for Falk, who went out after gaining 4. Welker caught it on a quick in next, working behind a good block thrown by Maroney, and they picked up a 1st down before sliding down at the Giants' 30. Brady missed Stallworth on 1st down, before lobbing it high to Moss on a slant before he got popped, but picked up another 1st down. Falk made a crispy cut out of the backfield, and Brady hit him wide open, where he'd turn upfield and slide down inside the 10-yard line before Brady faked a screen and handoff before missing a wide open Moss in the end zone, and on 2nd down, Brady threw behind Welker, who got crushed again, and it fell incomplete. On 3rd down, Brady and Moss finally hooked up as the defender fell over, and the Patriots would take the lead again, 14-10, with a made kick by Gostkowski, and less than 3 minutes remained in the game. Starting with a quick conversion on the curl to Toomer, Manning missed Burris next, throwing it over his head on a dig, before making a risky toss into double coverage as Burris just had to try to break it up on 2nd, and on 3rd and 10, Manning launched it to Toomer off his back foot, and the receiver caught the low throw on a deep curl, but he was ruled inches short, and on 4th down, Jacobs just fell forward, picking up the yard they needed. Manning stepped up on the next play, lumbering towards the sideline before he was caught from behind, and they'd have to take a timeout after the 5-yard gain. Manning threw up a YOLO ball that went right through the hands of Asante Samuel next, leaving them at 3rd and 5, where Manning stood in a collapsing pocket. Jarvis Green got a handful of him, but Eli somehow escaped before setting his feet and launching up a prayer for David Tyree, who climbed the ladder and caught it, trapping the ball against his helmet and miraculously coming to the ground with it. And the Giants, who looked dead in the water, were suddenly inside New England's 25 with a minute left on the clock. Eli tried scrambling again on 1st down, but ended up getting sacked by Thomas for a loss of 1, before getting hit as he threw on 2nd down and letting go of a duck that was nearly intercepted, caught by Tyree, and then fell incomplete. Manning then found Smith wide open in the flat, where he fell out of bounds past the marker, and with 39 seconds left, Plexico Burris blew by a stumbling Ellis Hobbs, and Eli lobbed it to him in the end zone, and the Giants would take a 17-14 lead with a clutch drive with only 35 seconds remaining on the clock. Brady got the ball back with 30 seconds and all their timeouts left, and started with an underthrown ball deep towards Gaffney that fell incomplete. On 2nd down, Jay Alford plowed up the middle and folded Brady for a loss of 10, and on 3rd and 20, Brady rolled right before heaving it 69 yards down the field with everything he had to Moss, who was open again, but it was a hair underthrown, forcing him to slow down for it, and it bounced off his hands incomplete. And they'd have to hope for a miracle on 4th and 20, where Brady stepped up and heaved for Moss again, but this time the coverage was over the top of him, and it was broken up. Players and coaches started flooding the field early, but there was 1 second left on the clock, and they had to be reeled back towards the sideline so that Eli could take the final kneel down, and it was over. The underdog Giants ruined the Patriots' perfect season, and perhaps pulled off the greatest upset in Super Bowl history, becoming the first NFC wildcard team to hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and click the thumbs up on the video if you liked it. Also, I'd really appreciate if you guys could join my Patreon for early access to new videos, and I have exclusive game reactions that I can't post here on YouTube, like my reaction to this year's Super Bowl. Anyways guys, I'm going back in time and making a what the f*** happened video for every past Super Bowl, and I even have one for this year's Super Bowl, so go check it out. Peace.